Yes, I am still using the old webcam. I just don't think the new one is good enough, better enough than this one to bother with. And correct me if I'm wrong. Not the last video, but the one before that, and the last few before that. You can watch them and watch this one and tell me what you think. I don't see the point in really bothering if I don't feel like it. The reason I feel like it, I'm just being lazy at the moment. And this is gonna sound really lazy, but I haven't been today. I only wrote 323 words, but I've been keeping myself busy about all day. I just have been doing work that's not writing or has to do anything with my writing job. So, I know that sounds really weird coming from me, but it's true. So, I tend to look at the number at the end of the day and judge how well my day went off just that. But there's other things I need to do, so unfortunately, I can't write all the time. So, more specifically, 36 of those one two poems, they're both up on Twitter. 285 was on my story. Not that much. It was one whole scene I wrote this morning. And I know somewhat what happens in the scene after the next one, but not as much this one. Next one. The next one was interesting very much, and I just was focusing on more other work today. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get to this chapter done. It's probably gonna be a pretty long one, and I've only got 285 words of it so far. This of the story, which is a fanfic of Dragon Quest IX, the best game ever. I'm gonna put up on DeviantArt, and I can safely say it has a title now. Before I had this one in the works, and I was thinking about it, but I wasn't sure, and I finally decided it is its name. The balance between craziness and sanity. I want to make this a whole series. It's focusing on. Let's see. In the game, you have part of the reason I love it is not only is there this long main quest, but there's so many other extra things to do, plus these side quests that all link up together in this chain of stories, um, and other things that don't necessarily have quests attached to them, kind of have their own hidden story. Like, but every character has their own. Well, not every of them, but there's enough of the characters that are just like walking around the town that have their own story. Like every time you go beat one of the parts of the main quest, you can come back and talk to them. They all say something new. Their story is progressing too. So cool looking at all these different characters that are just people inside, but they paid a lot of attention to them too. I like when side characters get recognition. So I've taken what's called the grotto bosses because there's these dungeons, which is a brilliant idea because the you start with a level 1, but you get higher and higher level. So even when like no normal thing is a challenge for you anymore, you can just get higher and higher grotto bosses or grotto dungeons. But they each have these 10 or 11, I think, different bosses, and you learn little tidbits about them from what they say in their monster descriptions. And there's a hidden second monster description. See all these cool things you get to do in this game? That's why I love it so much, is all the extra stuff. So I'm focusing the series on the grotto bosses, starting with the first one. That's like the common thread through it, and there's a little bit of there from like the first one and second one there'll be just a short time skip, but from some of the others there'll be bigger time gaps. Characters are regressing because I'm not focusing on the main story because that's what everybody writes. And it's just not what I wanted to jump into, and they'll be all short stories. I also want to focus on a different character or set of my characters. I've kind of blended Dragon Quest IX stories that are already in it with the stories I came up with for my party members. I'm going to blend those and make this new story. So it's going to focus on their bad guys and their story behind them that you learn as you go, plus my party members, and kind of mix the two. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. So that title, the first boss is Equinox, which is supposed to mean balance, I think. So, and then some conflict between the two main characters. I'm setting up that one. One thinks the other is crazy. Like, one seems to have a very bad grasp on reality, and the other one has almost too grounded. Like, it's hard for her to believe in anything that might be slightly fantastical. So, she's almost just too real. So, I was hoping that title would, sort of looking forward, just how it sounds really, I think it sounds really pretty and poetic and just covers the three things there. And that sets up what I need the rest of the story titles to be. What kind of theme? I'm not sure where there's going to be. I'm already got a few ideas in the works for the second one, but I have no idea what the series is going to be named, though. Well, I said no idea, but I have a few ideas, and I just don't. I think it needs to be similar to that. I'm still working with it, though, and oh my gosh, this video is long, and I hear I'm rarely on a game. The word count was finished. It was apparently just two more in a file that I think was the file where I'm trying to come up with the possible titles for that series. I added one. I'm still going over some ideas for it. I'll have to come up with that soon because I'm pretty sure my first one's about almost done. I have to finish the fourth chapter. I think it's gonna be the final chapter. It's probably gonna be pretty long though, so it'll probably take me the rest of this week and hopefully just part of the next week, not the whole next week. Then I've got to go over a second draft. Then I can put it up on DeviantArt. I don't want to just put it up in DeviantArt the way it is now, because I know it has some problems. And what's the point in just waiting for everyone else to critique what I already know needs to be fixed? I can just fix now and then let them critique the better version. And then that'll really help me improve. And yeah. So, what do you think of my titles and the ideas for the story that I've shared so far? I'll be having updates, so about every other day in DeviantArt, my journal. I've got a link to it in the description, along with other links, but they're not important right now. This is Peace, Love, Pink, signing out. Good night.